Hey everybody, I just heard it's like 5:24 p.m. right now on Friday. I was just going to wash my dishes and stuff. And then I was just looking on my phone and I saw that Ruby Dhalla had tweeted that she has been disqualified. It was only just last night I was watching this ridiculous interview between her and CPAC's Michael Serapio, who used to work for the CBC also, who at one point in this interview, his line of questioning about her financial contributions was absolutely ridiculous. I'll show that to you in a second. He just couldn't wrap his mind around how these contributions came. It was a couple, a husband and wife. They had a credit card, they used the same credit card. This concept was beyond him. But anyway, like I was saying, I looked at my phone to see that she was disqualified. And I was immediately like, seething, I guess, in anger because really, how low can you get, Liberal Party? You already have to have no qualifications to vote for a Liberal Party, for the Liberal Party leader. You can be 14 and pretty much have no fixed address. And they've already booted out Chandra Arya. The rumor was because of the French thing, but did the Liberal Party actually come out and say why? We're still waiting to know why. That story's kind of just been memory hold. And for Ruby Dhalla, the Globe and Mail put out this article saying something about foreign interference. That's like saying, I mean, foreign interference. And she defended herself against that last night on this CPAC interview, saying she's a Canadian born and raised citizen. She hasn't had a hand in any type of foreign interference, and it's almost like they're saying that because she is an Indian, a visible minority. Where can we start? But I found this interesting. Let's start with her tweet. Okay, so I'll show you that. I have just been informed. Sorry for the pregnant pause. I've just been informed by the Liberal Party of Canada that I have been disqualified from the leadership race. This decision is both shocking and deeply disappointing, especially since it was leaked to the media. The allegations that the party have used against me are false and fabricated. The tactic used to remove me from this race only confirmed what we already knew. Our message was resonating. We were winning, and the establishment felt threatened. One day it was foreign interference, one day it was campaign violations, all in an attempt to keep me from debating Carney and winning. I will continue to stand up for Canadians and fight for Canada. Oh, gosh, this is pretty sickening. And her tweet says, disqualified. The establishment in the Liberal Party of Canada clearly wants to hold on to power. They could not handle the fact that I was the only obstacle to Mark Carney's coronation, both at the debate and on the ballot. Oh, so bad. And anyway, if you go down a little bit, there's this CBC interview where it did leak to the media. Like it seems like she wasn't aware, but the media was aware before she was, which is also a dirty thing to do to someone. If anybody in this country votes for the Liberal Party, you should be hanging your head in shame now, especially because you can't vote for her.
I swear this just came into my email. It's a statement by Azam Ismail, who is the Liberal Party of Canada National Director, on Ruby Dhalla's candidacy for leader of the Liberal Party.
Let's take this to the beginning, okay?
That I was being disqualified from the race. I checked my email, my campaign team has, and as of this moment, we have not received any indication from the Liberal Party as to that type of decision, which to me is very alarming and very shocking that there are these types of leaks.
The banner says Dhalla disqualified from Liberal race. Although in the beginning here, it sounds like she's saying she has no intel on that. She doesn't know anything about her. That team doesn't know anything about that. Yet the banner font is already written.
Leaks, from sources that are.
The producers type those in, like we know what we're going to type when we're putting together a newscast. So for them to write it and for the director to put it up and for them to key this font, a producer and an executive has to say, yes, 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 go ahead, put that font in. So obviously the media knew before she did.
Are occurring.
We have just received a statement from the Liberal Party, Ms. Dhalla. I swear this just came into my email. It's a statement by
that just came into your email. Your producers and the control room already knew, Baldy, because I'm sorry, I forgot your name. I shouldn't call you that. David Cochran or whatever his name is. He's pretending like, oh, this just in, and maybe that's just into his email, but the control room has already fonted this, so they already knew this was happening.
Azam Ismail, who is the Liberal Party of Canada National Director on Ruby Dhalla's candidacy for Leader of the Liberal Party. Today, the Liberal Leadership Vote Committee unanimously made the decision to disqualify Ruby Dhalla. The decision followed an extensive process and review, including interviews, questionnaires.
Look, is he just telling her that, look, he's just telling her this, she's just learning of this. What? This is a pretty brutal thing to do to someone on the air, live, CBC.
And an opportunity for Dr. Dhalla to directly address the committees. After a thorough investigation, the Leadership Vote Committee and the Leadership Expense Committee.
A thorough investigation. That is about as thorough as, oh, she's a contender. She's an actual real contender. We got to get rid of her. That's about as thorough as your investigation was.
Sitting jointly, unanimously determined that Dr. Dhalla was in breach of 10 violations of the National Liberal Leadership Rules, Leadership Vote Rules, and the Leadership Expense Rules. The violations include concerns about alleged violations of the Canada Elections Act, certain other election finance matters, non-disclosure of material facts, and inaccurate financial reporting. The Leadership Vote Committee determined that the violations were extremely serious and accepted the recommendation of the Chief Electoral Officer and disqualified Dr. Dhalla under Section 8 of the National Leadership Rules. I'm assuming this is the first you are hearing this statement. What do you say that it was unanimous?
Oh,
there were 10
brutal
of those various rules.
Well, I think it speaks to the state of the Liberal Party of Canada that a candidate who is running to become leader of the party, who is running to become prime minister in our country, is finding out that she has been disqualified on air from an email that the media outlet that she is interviewing with has received. So it is very alarming and very shocking. It is certainly not surprising, because I think the Liberal Party of Canada was seeing exactly what our internal polls are telling us.
She is unshakable. Good answer. She's not quivering. She called it exactly right. I'm sitting here being interviewed on air, and the media outlet is breaking the news to me. Good for you, Ruby.
That my campaign and my team, we were neck to neck with a front runner in the race. They did not want me to go on to that debate stage in Montreal. They certainly did not want me on that ballot. And the Liberal Party of Canada wanted to complete the coronation of Mark Carney. All of the allegations that you have mentioned have been, that you have spoken about. They are completely false. They are fabricated. And I will not allow the Liberal Party of Canada, or anyone for that matter, to smear my name or to smear the name of thousands of volunteers in our campaign.
You said you had an opportunity to present to the committee that made this decision today, correct? What did you say to them?
Yes.
What did you say?
You know, on the committee, they had members from the voting.
This is the first I'm seeing it. I'm watching this with you guys.
Voting committee, from the expense committee. This committee has been kept secret from all of the candidates. The candidates have been asking who are the members of this committee. It wasn't until today, when I actually presented to them via a virtual call, that I was even made aware of who the individuals were. Neither was time taken for anyone to even introduce themselves. But regardless, no matter what we said and what proof was.
Look at the font. Because in the control room, the producers, like the producers, like I could type a font in and put it on the air. We used to have actual people that did this, but we had no budget at Global, so we got rid of those people, and we were typing the fonts in ourselves. Maybe CBC still has a Chiron operator, a font operator, and they type this up, and the director goes key, and they key it. How disgraceful. What a disgraceful, like, this is very nasty to do to someone who has fundraised the money, who has got a team together, who has put herself out there, who has not been part of the Liberal Party for the past 10 years or so, or more. And she's done the hard yards, come up with the funds to do this. And you're doing this to her on air. This is borderline abusive.
Provided that these violations, were not committed, that this was simply false and fabricated breaches that the party is alleging, they still had a predetermined agenda to keep Ruby Dhalla off of the ballot, to keep Ruby Dhalla out of the debate stage, because they did not want anyone challenging the front runner, their blue-eyed boy, Mark Carney.
Okay, I mean, you make that allegation. You say you have thousands of people in your
Are you defending this, David Cochran? Are you defending this as you sit there and go, why? Why? You're just as bad as all of them.
Your volunteers in your organization. I've not seen any polling anywhere that puts you neck and neck with Mark Carney. If anything, he has a commanding lead over even Chrystia Freeland and Karina Gould, who in some form are second and third amongst
an orchestrated commanding lead. Come on, and you know that.
Liberals and amongst Canadians. I mean, what are you basing this on, that you were the threat to Mr. Carney?
Well, I'm the only one that was the outsider in the race. I am the only candidate that has not been an advisor to the current administration. I am the only candidate that has not served as a minister or a member of parliament. I am the only one that was an outsider that was continuing to challenge the front runner, continuing to challenge and speak out for the establishment, and also bringing forward policies which I thought were very important to bring our party back to the center, to return our party back into the hands of the membership and the grassroots. And when I talk about these polling numbers, this was and is going to be a preferential ballot where people mark 1, 2, 3, or 4. And even though people may be supporting Mark Carney as their number one choice, they were looking at supporting Ruby Dhalla for their second choice, along with the other thousands of members that our team had signed up. And I think that the Liberal Party must have felt some sort of threat to the establishment, to their coronation that they wanted for their front runner.
Oh, very good answer. I mean, you got to commend her for keeping her composure, for keeping her class. I don't know what a lot of her policies were. I know she was very tough on immigration, as people want now, and she was sort of more in the center, right? Like, she wasn't a lefty libtard. She was more sort of somebody that had some common sense in the center. This is just shocking. I've never seen anything like this in Canadian politics. And to do this to her, and she's so unrattled by it, good for her. That just shows a lot of strength of character. I think crooked Carney would be crying right now if somebody did this to him. He can barely string a sentence together that makes any sense sometimes. Oh, you don't need steel. How much steel are you using? This is just pretty brutal. I was going to show you that little bit of that Michael Serapio nonsense, but it seems like a moot point right now. Oh, wow. I just can't believe this. The Liberal Party. How let's like, I'll just share a little bit. This is from yesterday. It's funny how things happen so fast. Like, the Globe and Mail puts out an article, and once they do that, they sort of, when the media does that, the stink gets on you, right? Oh, did she get foreign interference? And then that hangs over your head, and you kind of got to claw your way against the media consensus, because if the media says something, people believe it. If they say safe and effective, if they say safe for children, you know how that story goes. Let's see with this.
Being raised about possible foreign interference. But when you go on into the report, there are also questions in the report itself about donations from 12 individuals and campaign staffers who work for your various companies, several of them donating to your campaign with the same credit card. How do you explain that?
They use the same credit
only
card.
A few people that have donated to the campaign with the same credit card. There is nothing wrong with that. An attestation was requested by the party, which is the rules of Elections Canada, and the attestations for those individuals having the same joint bank account was submitted, and there should be absolutely no issue with that, because it is within the law, and we have ensured that all of our donations are compliant with Elections Canada.
So your campaign has investigated these concerns and what have come to the conclusion there's nothing untoward about them?
Well, there was nothing wrong, because you can, according to Elections Canada, have a husband and wife, which was a situation in our campaign, who donated with the same bank, with the same credit card, as long as they have a joint account. And the people, that had done that.
He's going to go on to really hammer her here yesterday. And when I watched this, I thought, are you stupid? Is there something that you're not following with what she is saying? He seemed to appear so daft in his questioning. Maybe he knew something last night that we didn't know till today.
that have provided the attestations to Elections Canada, to ensure that they are in compliance. And it was the Liberal Party of Canada who directly contacted those members to seek that attestation, which is a requirement. So all donations to our campaign have been compliant with Elections Canada.
And forgive me, I'm trying to understand this then. Is it, for example, one family then using the same credit card to make different donations?
It's a husband and wife who have a bank account, which is probably familiar to many people. They have one bank account, and they have it's a joint bank account, and they have used their credit card as a family that they have for the husband and the wife both donating to the campaign.
Okay. Although, again, the report seems to cite 12 individuals, 6 couples, amongst them using the same credit card.
6 couples,
Yes,
dummy.
there's 6 couples in that situation from the hundreds of donations that we received.
So 6 couples using 6 different credit cards, but 6 couples on one.
No, 6 couples using 6 different credit cards, because there are 6 separate husbands and wives and 6 separate families.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
You still don't get it, you big dummy. Anyway, that's just what she's going through in the media. I mean, she did do some mainstream interviews. I did see her on some shows, but she's not really somebody that the media would allow to gain traction. The machine didn't push her. The machine is pushing Carney. So that's why there are so many normal people that are like, oh, that Carney guy, I guess he must be good. They say he's the one that's got the economic skill. Meanwhile, he's ruined the country. He's ruined England. Look at the state that England is in. They're in complete financial disrepair. Look at any interview that Liz Truss has given on Carney. But then the normies don't know what we're talking about. So inform them, enlighten them. This is really disgusting for the Liberal Party to do this. This is so bad. This is so obvious. This is so blatant. Anyway, I hope she just doesn't disappear into the ether. I hope she just comes back and fights or does something, or we see her in some other capacity, because Chandra Arya is not as strong as her, or doesn't have the chops. I mean, I don't know much about him, but he reminded me of like a character, like a Ross Perot type, right? She's got iron balls, this woman, and I like that. And she's very astute and tough. And because she was a chiropractor, I work with chiropractors. I like chiropractors. All the people that I work with now are caregivers. They have an empathetic side, because you have to have that type of side to take on that kind of work. That has to be part of you. She's a mother. She would have been great. She was a contender, but the Liberals didn't like that, did they? Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I'll sign off right now. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. We'll keep our eyes on this. Gosh, they're awful. The Liberals.